Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Yankees Avenue live stream. Man, it has been a little while, and I feel like I say that every single time I come on here, but this time around, it's only been about 9 days. Sorry to keep you guys waiting, if you've been waiting at all. I don't know. We low-key got a good amount to talk about today, and how are you guys doing? It is good to see you all again. I'm chilling, thank you for asking. I got my extra large big gulp Diet Coke, which I'm trying to ease up on the diet soda, because... quick little pet peeve, they always say like, oh, it's going to give you cancer. Turns out you need to drink like 14 of them a day for it to actually lead to that. For now, I'm going to enjoy them, but I do got to lessen up a little bit. Damn. It is a pleasure to see you all on this 23rd day of January. That sounded official. That sounded like something Michael K would have said on his show, which I watched earlier, as I do every single day. And hell, let me get to know you guys a little bit, which I kind of already do for the most part. But how many of you watch the Michael K show? I'm just curious, because me and my boys, shout out Colin, Nelson, Mike and Hunter sometimes, every day, leading up to the Michael K show, 30 minutes till K, 20 minutes till K, 10 minutes till K, and then at 3 o'clock, we're like, K time, ready to go. Sorry, I'm rambling right now. How you guys doing? We got a bunch to talk about today, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that I am pretty damn stoked about the news that we got today. I woke up right around 8:30 to the beautiful report that the Yankees are altering their road uniforms. Now, at first glance, you might see this and be like, Dan, what's the difference? Here's the difference. And if I was better at this, I would have had a picture of what it was prior. But they got rid of the white outline and the stripes on the sleeves. Now, why is this significant? Or why would they do this? Just make the jersey, what some say, what was already bland, blander? No, this is fucking badass. You want to know why? Because Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and the rest of the 2024 New York Yankees and beyond, because it's not just going to be for 1 year, this is their permanent new road uniform, they're going to be wearing the same jersey, essentially, that Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig wore, that Roger Maris wore, that Mickey Mantle wore. And this has been, I don't want to say like, no, it was pretty polarizing. Yankees Twitter was, I don't know, I was going to say divided, but I ran a poll on Yankees Avenue on Instagram. Follow if you haven't already. And let me check where that's at right now, because I asked, how is everybody feeling about the new uniforms? And let me see where this poll is at. Okay, I said, do you like the change to the Yankees road unis? 75% said yes, 25% said no. Now, that could be slightly skewed because I was very vocal about how I'm a big fan of it, so I'm not sure if that's like a true test to how people are actually feeling, but let me know in the chat. You can just say like W or L, whatever you want. How are we feeling about this slight but very significant alteration to the Yankees road jerseys? And the main reason why I like this a lot, and by the way, if you're here, please do me a favor, drop a like on the video, helps me out a lot, and subscribe if you are new, also helps me out a lot. And let me know if my audio sounds good. Thank you. What was I going to say? The reason why I am so happy about this decision is that I think it's good for the Yankees to try and do something new. However, rarely can they actually do something new when they're trying to maintain the whole historic franchise, we don't change vibe. But with this, you're doing something new that is essentially a throwback. You changed, and this is a very significant change. I mean, like, to those who are like, is this even that big a deal? To me, it is. Like, the Yankees do not change their uniforms all that often at all. The most recent change was back in besides the Star Insurance patch, which still sucks. 2016, they made a slight alteration with the helmet. It was a matte black helmet they changed, which it still is today on the road. Prior to that, it was a shiny helmet. 1974 is when they added the striping to this jersey. And now we're going back pre-1974. I'm a big fan of it. I love the history of the organization, obviously. And this floats my boat. I'm not going to lie. Now, with that said, I want to propose another idea to you guys, which, once again, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably have seen this idea, or Yankees Avenue. A lot of you probably have already seen this. But how would you feel sticking with this same whole, like, new but actually a throwback vibe if on Sunday day games at home, and I want to emphasize that, strictly just Sunday day games at Yankee Stadium, if the Yankees reintroduced old-fashioned, aged, champagne-colored cream jerseys? What do we think? What do we think, guys? Am I crazy for this? I had a lot of people tell me when I first initially tweeted this, without this dope picture, shout out to my boy Benji, who does a lot of stuff for Yankees Ave. He's the GOAT. He whipped this up. I initially tweeted like the layout for it, the blueprint for it, if you will. And a lot of people were like, I don't say calling it gross, but I don't think I got everybody on my side. But when you look at this picture of Aaron Judge in a, I don't want to call it cream colored, champagne or like aged newspaper vibe, if you will. I don't know. I think it would look sick. And along with what we did to the road uniforms today, sticks along with that vibe of, yo, this isn't exactly new. This is just kind of reintroducing a throwback. Now, the caveat here is that the Yankees never actually had like yellow jerseys. The story always goes, especially when we pull up this picture here. So this is the final game at Yankee Stadium. And of course, you have Yogi Berra and Don Larson wearing, the Yankees gave them like the old-fashioned uniforms, and it's like a cream color, pretty much what I want. And Yogi Berra famously was like, this is BS. Our jerseys were white. Why did you give us yellow jerseys? And I know what he means. Like, they are technically never yellow. But if you look back, even at this picture of Mickey Mantle, a big part of it may have been because they were flannel, sure. But that is not white. That is like cream. That is champagne. I don't know. I think it would be great. I think this would be so dope. And the reaction on Twitter once I posted this picture, hella people were like, yo, those jerseys would sell out right now. I know I would buy one. So let me know how you guys are feeling about this. We're probably, fetching for a dream here that, or maybe it would happen actually. I don't even know. I don't want to put any like cold water on this. Because maybe it will happen. If we get enough traction, maybe the Yankees see it. They're clearly open to changing the uniforms. And once again, this would be a throwback. It wouldn't be anything new. This is a way to keep things fresh while maintaining the whole we don't change vibe. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. So that was the news that we woke up to this morning, that the Yankees are altering their road uniforms. Once again, very happy about that. We also just heard, and maybe we can get into this real quick, kind of expected, but the Hall of Fame voting came out. Joe Mauer got in. Obviously, Adrian Beltre got in. I believe Todd Helton got in. You guys in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was just those three. And Gary Sheffield just barely missed. I think like right around 68% he was at. Andy Pettitte only got like 13.5%, which will keep him on the ballot, but obviously pretty far away from getting in. But Alex Rodriguez, 34.8% of the Hall of Fame vote, excuse me. And I don't know about you guys, I've really grown fatigued with the whole Hall of Fame conversation. It was kind of like once Mo got in unanimously, and obviously Jeter got in, that kind of wrapped up my interest in this whole thing because it's kind of gotten tiresome, the whole steroid conversation. And to be honest with you, I think I actually got it down, like a clear sight on how to evaluate the steroid era. And that's why I don't think A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I would like to see him get in, because A-Rod, for those who don't know, is like my favorite player of all time. A-Rod is the reason I'm sitting here today like I'm in some fucking major throne. I'm in my parents' bedroom. But, well, not parents' bedroom. My bedroom in my parents' house. Moving back to Hoboken soon, though. Anyways, A-Rod is literally the reason I got into baseball. However, there's a big difference between Barry Bonds using steroids in the late 90s and early 2000s. There's a big difference between Alex Rodriguez using steroids in the early 2000s. Remember, his first go-around with steroids, A-Rod, 2001 to 2003 with the Rangers. That report came out in 2009. Prior to the 2009 season, the A-Rod had used his 3 years in Texas, never used with the Yankees. And at that very press conference, he was saying, when apologizing for the whole thing, he was like, I want you to look at me from this day forward. And I tell you, concrete, factual, without question, if A-Rod had just kept it to that, those 3 years in Texas, I guarantee you he would have been in by now. Maybe not first ballot. I think he would have been in last year. At the very least, would have been in by now. Because if he just had that first go-round when a lot of players were on it, a lot of guys were on it. I mean, same vibes as like David Ortiz. When Ortiz got popped, it was a survey test. Not the Mitchell report, but when he got popped, it was a survey test. Basically, MLB knew they had a steroid problem, and they wanted to see how bad of a problem it was. And A-Rod, on one of the survey tests, and the most notorious one being the Mitchell report, that's what A-Rod was on, he got caught. But he said, yo, from this day forward, I'm a new man. I never used with the Yankees anyways. And he went on to 2009 have one of the greatest postseasons of all time. And it was amazing. Now, the story goes, the next year in 2010, right around August, or a little bit before hitting his 600th home run, so probably like mid-July, he hits up Tony Bosch, Tony Bosch, for those who don't know, was the head of the Biogenesis Clinic, which basically was a phony lab where like Nelson Cruz got steroids, Bartolo Colon got steroids, A-Rod got steroids. 2010 to 2012, A-Rod used again, which is actually kind of funny because contrary to the Rangers years, which were like some of the best years of his career, 2010 to 2012 were some of like the worst years of A-Rod's career. So the steroids clearly didn't help, but there's a big difference between heart of the steroid era. It was illegal, but Bud Selig hadn't really started cracking down on it in the early 2000s. Whereas after 2010, man, and the same thing goes for Manny Ramirez. Manny got popped twice, but if Manny had just had that first go round and didn't get suspended in 2011, I think he probably gets in. But with A-Rod, it's tough, man. It's tough because he used steroids well after everybody knew you weren't allowed to. And it was very frowned upon. Not to mention, the legal case was very messy, man. Very messy. I mean, not even just talking about him lying about not taking roids, because that's kind of a given. You know, if you're fighting it, you're gonna whatever. He sued the Yankees. He sued the Yankees doctor. He sued the Players Association that was representing him against MLB. I mean, the whole thing was messy. And I don't even want to like do a whole like fucking history lesson on A-Rod. I'm just saying, I understand honestly why he didn't get in. I understand why Manny didn't get in. Barry Bonds, though, I think I'd put him in because he's a true talent Hall of Famer. Mark McGwire, I would not put in. I don't think he's a true talent Hall of Famer. He wouldn't be what he was without roids. Now, don't get me wrong. Bonds is not hitting 73 home runs without steroids. Bonds is not hitting 762 without steroids. But he's probably hitting 600 with still like 3 or 4 MVPs. And the question I always pose to people when they're like, put all the steroid users in, put them all in. Well, what if, let's just say Fernando Tatis, for example. And we're going to get to the Yankees lineup in a minute here. I want to talk about that. What if Fernando Tatis, who obviously got popped a couple years ago for roids, let's just say we find out 20 years from now, after putting up, let's say, a Hall of Fame career, that he had used steroids every single year for 20 seasons. Not in the 90s and early 2000s, but from 2020, or whenever he debuted, through 2040, he used steroids. Are we still like, let everybody in? Or does the context matter? That in this hypothetical case, if Tatis or any player, I don't want to just fucking, I mean, I don't love Tatis, but he's the first guy that comes to mind. I don't want to just put this all on him. He's clean now, I assume. But whatever player, they come into the league now and they start using roids in present day for the next 20 years when you clearly know, yo, this is against the rules, which A-Rod knew his second go-around. Manny knew his second go-around. Would you still put that guy in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I feel like people are, it's like the easy way to say, oh, I'm being consistent by saying, oh, put them all in. But no, like you do got to break it down case by case. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later in a little Hall of Fame conversation, but there's more we got to get to. I want to talk about the Yankees lineup. And for those who are in this chat right now, please do me a favor, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you are new. The other day, via Foul Territory, shout out to the Foul Territory guys, they had Aaron Boone on. Now I'm going to play this little SOT, sound on tape is what that means. Shout out Chris Rose. Well, I love Chris Rose. He has taught me a lot about this industry, if you will. Boone said this.
Probably Juan in the 2-hole and Judgy third, but we'll just see. We'll see how the leadoff spot shakes out. You know, I really feel excited about the way DJ finished the season last year. Obviously, bringing Verdugo over is a huge deal. He could hit in that spot. You could move Glaber up there if you wanted to. So I do feel like we have a lot of really good options.
All right. So Boone the other day said pretty much, I mean, he said a lot there, but the main story is that he's leaning towards batting Juan Soto second. And this would be that lineup. DJ LeMahieu, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Stanton, Verdugo, Volpe, platoon of Wells / Trevino. First, let me say this. You can't go wrong either way. So I'm not going to stress about Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Ultimately, we know they're going to be fine. More than fine. They're going to be historically great. What'll make or break, or at least determine the overall outlook on the Yankees offense this year, is the guy you see in the 4-hole here and the guy you see in the 6-hole here. the supplemental cast, the support group, if you will. That didn't make much sense, but you get what I'm saying. That's what will determine how good the Yankees offense is in 2024. So regardless, we shouldn't stress this. It's not something to, and I'm saying this to myself too. You're like, I've probably lost sleep. I think about this every day. Where to bat Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and I certainly hear the case. Juan Soto, crazy OBP guy. Aaron Judge, the best home run hitter in baseball, the best hitter in baseball, period. You bat the high OBP guy in front of the historical home run hitter. I understand that. However, I'm sorry, I still lean towards keeping Judge in the 2-hole. I just do. Mainly because, and if it weren't for this, I would definitely align more with Boone and bat Soto second. But Juan Soto wanting to bat third is not insignificant. It's really not, especially going back to what I just said. Either way, you can't go wrong. So the way I see it is, if you can't go wrong either way, you might as well just bat him where he's most comfortable. And I don't want to put too much stock into this, but the stats do back up what we've heard, what Soto has said. 2023 batting second, 227 average, 729 OPS. Batting third, much different story. OPS right around 900. I should have had that batting third stat on this graphic too. Apologize. He's mostly batted third in his career. His preference is not insignificant. That's the way I feel. Especially when, with Judge in the 2-hole, he's done that 63% of his career, and it's worked. Not to mention, Judge finally having elite protection with Soto behind him. And part of this might just be like individual bias towards what the player Aaron Judge is and like me wanting to see him get even greater. He might legitimately hit 70 home runs with Juan Soto behind him. It'll be incredible. It will be incredible. And he is still their best hitter. Aaron Judge is the Yankees' best hitter, which, listen, I'm not like fully gung-ho analytics where everything revolves around what the computer says, but something I really do subscribe to in this new age of thinking is you don't want to bat your best hitter fourth or even third. In this case, Aaron Judge batting second would guarantee him at least 40 to 50 more plate appearances throughout the whole season. That, they say, and just to me, just understanding and seeing that stat, 40 to 50 more plate appearances, that is way more valuable than and also having the lineup flip over to him quicker. Not just about first inning he bats second, but dude, you get to the ninth and you need a solo homer, you can get Aaron Judge up quicker, one batter sooner if he's batting second rather than third. I think that makes a lot of sense. I like the idea of giving Aaron Judge the most at-bats possible. He's batted second for the majority of his career. Like I said, 63% of the time. It's worked. If it's not broke, don't fix it, as I have here in this graphic. And Juan Soto has mostly batted third, and he prefers to bat third. I read a story last year, or from last year, that I guess it was when Tatis was hurt, they had Soto batting third, and the story was when Tatis comes back, Soto's going to go down to 2. And it was a thing. It was a thing. Now, don't get me wrong. If Aaron Boone tells Juan Soto to bat second and he fucking like bitches and moans, complains about that, fuck him. I mean, like that would be BS. I don't anticipate that happening. But when you can't go wrong either way, it's Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. I mean, we're going to be fine in that case. It's Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. We will not have any issue with the production there. Knowing you can't go wrong either way, why not just bat the dude where he prefers to hit? Which is a thing. He likes to bat third. And when the stats back it up, that's just what I would do. That's what I would do. Now, some have also mentioned, let me go back to this lineup here. Well, when you bat Juan Soto third, you have lefties back-to-back if you're going to bat Rizzo cleanup. That is 100% no issue. And a lot of people have mentioned batting Juan Soto second is better for lineup balance. It's not. There's no difference, essentially, because Rizzo batting fourth, he's a lefty, yes, but Rizzo absolutely mashes lefties, so he might as well be a righty in this situation. He's better against lefties than he is against righties. So no need to worry about splitting up Soto and Rizzo 3 and 4. Which Rizzo, 100%, back to 100% after concussion. We just saw him taking BP. I posted on my Yankees Ave Instagram about a week ago. Gotta assume Rizzo's going to bounce back to like a 115 WRC plus guy at the least. If not, we might be screwed. But I'm feeling pretty good about Rizzo. I mean, you see the stats before speaking of Tatis, before banging his head on him or his neck, whatever that was to get the concussion. Dude was having like the best year of his career. 303 average, 883 OPS, 507 slugging. Rizzo was great until he got hurt. We all know that. More about the lineup balance. People will mention DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge. That's two righties, whereas if you have Soto batting second, that's like righty-lefty, righty-lefty, righty-righty-lefty. Surface level, you see it. It's easier to understand why, this is the better lineup balance-wise. But the whole thing of why you want to have lineup balance is so there's no lanes for relievers to bring in and be like seeing naturally when you see two lefties in a row, you think, you just bring in a lefty and that's easy money. They'll just dice them up. No, Rizzo hits lefties. Same with, righties, two righties in a row. Like, what are you going to do with that? Guys, Aaron Judge is insane against righties. So there's no lane there. Even if DJ LeMahieu is better against lefties and worse against righties, it's not like you bring in a righty reliever and you're like, I have a lane now with DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge. It's like, no, it's Aaron fucking Judge. So nothing to worry about there. Nothing to worry about having Soto and Rizzo back to back. And, ideally we could have had Stanton in the cleanup hole. But I'll tell you this, and of course I had Glaber 5. We can talk about him a little bit. But I want to talk about Stanton and really get it across. He needs to earn the cleanup spot back. He needs to earn it back. And that's why, to start out the season, I have him batting 6th. Of course, it's the worst season of his career he's coming off. 191 batting average, 695 OPS, 89 WRC+, a negative WAR. I mean, we all know the story. Stanton was horrible this past year. Couldn't hit the fastball, couldn't hit right-handed pitching. And he is a huge X factor for 2024, obviously. I'm getting gassy. Damn. I got the Knicks game on. They're playing the Nets. They're winning 50-49. Giancarlo Stanton, if he can get back to being the hitter he was from 2021 to before the 2022 All-Star break. Because remember, 2022, while better than 23, it was a down year. The first half, he was still Giancarlo Stanton. Remember, All-Star, one All-Star game MVP. He was great. And then the second half really fell off. 23, the first few weeks of the season, he was solid. Pretty damn solid, actually. And then he got hurt. And ever since then, the IL rust was just, too much for him to handle. Or Sean Casey said he was getting stiff or whatever it is. I don't like to fucking play hitting coach. I really don't. But huge X factor for 2024. Start him out batting 6th. And then if he wants to work his way up back to the cleanup spot, word. Ideally, that is what happens. And then you can bet Rizzo 5th and 6th or put Glaber wherever you want. Something, though, that is exciting. And it's classic this time of year, spring training's in a few weeks, but Giancarlo Stanton has slimmed down. I aired this picture a few weeks ago on a live, but for those who haven't seen, the game plan going into this offseason for Stan was to lose weight, become more mobile, become more of a consistent option in the outfield, and obviously, the dude just gets hurt all the time. And that's usually what leads to his struggle. So once again, the first couple of weeks of last year, he looked like Giancarlo Stanton. He gets hurt and it all spirals downhill from there. I don't know if this will have an impact. I'd like to think it will. But bottom line is, Giancarlo Stanton needs to return to being Giancarlo Stanton. If that's the case, you could bat him 4th word. But to start out the season, I like him in the 6th hole. I think it makes the lineup look so much deeper. Glaber in the 5 hole, I think that plays really well because, dude, Glaber matured as a hitter so much in 2023. He really did, man. And I don't know if I don't give him enough credit or we in general don't give him enough credit, or maybe he does get enough credit. I don't know. Certainly not by MLB Network. They didn't name him a top 10 starting or a top 10 second baseman, which maybe that's fine. I don't know, but he does have the 3rd highest WRC plus amongst second basemen since 2022, 3rd most home runs amongst second basemen since 2022. The dude's a G, and he's coming off the best year since 2019, 123 WRC plus, even 800 OPS, 25 homers, 3.2 WAR. Of course, he's entering a walk year. He's a free agent after 2024. And him too. He's a huge piece of this lineup, but you kind of know what you're getting out of Glaber. I think you can expect another 800 OPS season, while one of the big improvements he made this past year was he increased his walk rate while also decreasing his strikeout rate. He's a very mature hitter now. Very mature hitter, Glaber Torres, and I think he slots in very nicely behind, hopefully, Renaissance Anthony Rizzo. Him batting 5th, I like that. Stanton in the 6th hole. Maybe it all works out to where, everybody's playing. Hopefully that happens. Probably not. But, maybe things are working and Giancarlo Stanton's still your 6th hitter. That would be an incredibly deep lineup. Now, something else Boone has mentioned, he mentioned in that clip I played before, and a lot of people have talked about, is the idea of batting Alex Verdugo leadoff. I understand the sentiment there on the surface, but ultimately when you think about it, if he were to bat leadoff, it doesn't make that much sense because that would affect the lineup balance. The three amigos, if you will, when it comes to making sure everything's nice and balanced, is Soto, Rizzo, and Verdugo. If you bet Verdugo leadoff, that now takes your three main lefties, basically. The other one being Austin Wells, who's going to platoon with Trevino, and then Trent Grisham. But the three main lefties, Soto, Rizzo, Verdugo, you put Verdugo leadoff, all three of those lefties are in the top 4 or 5 of the order. That's no good. So I say to start out the season, that's all I operate off of is opening day. And then obviously, people get hurt, guys get cold, guys get hot, like things will change. But just talking about opening day and to start out the season, I think you go with DJ LeMahieu as the leadoff hitter, which, second half, DJ was really solid. 809 OPS in the second half. You look at the actual breakdown of that, he was insane in August. July and September, he was just like better. It was like a 750 OPS in August. Or excuse me, 750 OPS in July, like 750 in September, and then August he had like a 900 something. But the promising thing here is 359 OBP in July, 391 OBP in August, 343 OBP in September. If DJ just gives us that, while occasionally hitting homers, 2022, if he didn't get hurt with the toe, he would have hit over 20 homers. Last year, in a down season, still 15 homers. So if he can just get on base at like a 340, 350 clip, that's more than fine to start out the year at the top of the lineup. And it just feels right, too. Like, you kind of just assume the Yankees are going to at least start out the season leading off DJ LeMahieu. Now, with that said, a huge piece for 2024 is Anthony Volpe. And ideally, if the Yankees could have a perfect leadoff hitter, it's a much improved Anthony Volpe this year, which we're still far away from that being the case. Like, we're nowhere near, like some have mentioned, like a projected opening day lineup with Volpe at the top. Like, there's no shot you start out the season with even considering Volpe hitting leadoff. Even if he has like a really good spring. Like, I think you start him in the 8 hole, but if he heavily improves in his sophomore season, which is, obviously, but it's very possible. You look at Bobby Witt. They had pretty similar rookie seasons. Bobby Witt may have been a little bit better, but Witt was like right around league average, if not a little below. And then this past year in his sophomore season improved to being like an MVP candidate, borderline MVP candidate at shortstop. He was great. There's no reason why Volpe, who going into last year was a number 5 prospect in baseball, and you look at that 811 OPS from June 13th to 830 to August 31st, he had a third of the season stretch where he was one of the best hitters in the Yankees lineup. Legitimately. So, and that's why I say, like, the tagline I think for Volpe's rookie year wasn't perfect but promising. For a guy that hit 209, 666 OPS, 84 WRC plus, if you were to just see those 3 stats, like entering last year, and like this is what Volpe's going to do, you'd be like, oh fuck, man, like that's kind of rough, and it is. Like, don't get me wrong, like there is a lot to be improved with Anthony Volpe's game, but with that said, if you're Volpe, you got to be feeling pretty good entering camp this year, knowing like, yo, ultimately my rookie year was a 2020 season, first Yankees rookie to ever do that, and he won a Gold Glove. Like, that is amazing. So, very promising rookie year for Volpe, just not perfect. Ideally, he can get to at least a 100 WRC plus in 2024, which for those who don't know, that's league average. A league average WRC plus is 100. And last year he was 84, so he was 16% worse than a league average hitter. And 2, to be fair to Volpe, like his stats through August were much better than the way they finished. And me being like Mr. Optimism and being able to give these guys the benefit of the doubt pretty easily, Volpe's never played a full big league season before. It could have just been fatigue. He fell off quite substantially in September. Could have just been fatigue. So I'm so excited for Volpe this year. I really am. I'd start him in the 8 hole with not the hope, but the possibility that he could bump up to the leadoff spot. And if that's the case, that's the ideal leadoff hitter for the Yankees, at least entering October. Because as much as I'm like cool with DJ batting leadoff, it does suck that, he's slow as a, whatever you want to call a sloth or whatever the metaphor would be. I don't know. Damn, I love a good old DC. Actually, it's a DP, Diet Pepsi. People have also mentioned Soto at the top to lead off. I'm not even like against that. Like, that's fine. And, a couple years ago, I loved when the Yankees led off Aaron Judge. Mostly to do with, best hitter, even more plate appearances than him batting second, and they didn't really have many other options. You just know the Yankees aren't going to do that. That's kind of also, like I said before, why I have DJ penciled in at leadoff, in part, because you just know, come opening day, DJ LeMahieu will be leading off. And then Austin Wells and Jose Trevino in the 9 hole. For those who don't know my opinion on Trevino, obviously I love the dude. Like, he was a big surprise in 2022, won the Platinum Glove, very valuable behind the plate, very valuable, and I don't want to diminish that. However, like, let's not fool ourselves into thinking he's going to give us anything with the bat. Because as you see the stats here, 2022, we all remember, was an all-star because he was, the great defense helped him in a big part of that, but he was a well above league average hitter. And as a catcher, that was amazing. 115 WRC plus in his first 51 games at 2022. In 139 games since then, 231 batting average, 76 WRC plus. And this isn't me shitting on Trevino, not at all. But that's just who he is. Outside of a 6-week stretch, he is like a 75 WRC plus guy. He cannot hit. So he has his role in the team for sure. I mean, like, they're going to do probably a pretty straight platoon between Trevino and Wells. But obviously, the guy that excites me way more is Austin Wells. And I like to think, as long as his defense holds up, which wasn't terrible. I mean, he had technically -2 defensive runs saved, I think, and maybe his framing wasn't great, which we knew. Austin Wells is a hitting first catcher. But just going off the eye test, the famous eye test, I didn't think he was that much of a problem. And the pitchers seemed to be okay throwing to him. That's the biggest thing. And that's a big advantage to Trevino's game too, is the pitchers love throwing to him. I don't once again, I don't want to diminish the value of Jose Trevino. But Austin Wells, man, 2020 first-round pick, has mashed in the minor leagues, and he finished the season real strong. As you see, 118 batting average in his first 9 games, 333 with 4 homers in his final 10. He was mashing to end the year. And he's still a rookie going into 24 because you got to have at least 130 plate appearances to not qualify as a rookie. He didn't reach that mark. So he's still a prospect, number 5 on the Yankees chart, number 71 in all of baseball. I'm really excited for Austin Wells. I'm not certain he's going to be a sure thing. Not at all. But if he gives us anything anywhere close to being a league average hitting catcher in 2024, dude, out of the 9-hole, are you kidding me? A left-handed bat? I mean, he's almost a huge X factor. Not nearly as much as Giancarlo Stanton, but I'm very excited about this lineup because, one, you have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. That speaks for itself. Rizzo, I feel good about a bounce back. We know what he was before the concussion. You like to think he gets somewhat close back to being that guy. Gleyber Torres coming off one of the best years of his career. Walk year, he should be great. Giancarlo Stanton, reason to be concerned, but, feeling pretty optimistic about him. He's working his ass off, too, to get back to the player that he can be. Verdugo, left-handed bat, great defense. And, I don't know if I pulled up his little page here. But, he was real excited to be a Yankee. You saw his press conference. I thought I thought he handled himself perfectly, along with Stroman, too. I don't know if we've talked about Stroman since he did his presser. Pressers have been great this offseason. Verdugo's was one of them. I'm very excited to see what he can be, too. But what Volpe and Austin Wells give you in 2024, that could dramatically change the way we feel about this lineup and just the lineup as a whole. So that's what I would do. And once again, you can't go wrong, Judge or Soto, whether you bat him second or third, whichever order you want to do. I just think because of that fact that it doesn't matter, you can't go wrong either way, you might as well just bat Soto where he's most comfortable. And I tweeted this out the other day. I think there's a very high chance that if the Yankees bat Juan Soto second to begin the season, which, hell, I'll probably predict now. That's literally what Aaron Boone said. He is the manager, so unless something changes, that's where he's going to bat. I bet Juan Soto is batting third by Memorial Day. I just do. You can come back to this, and I'll own it if I'm wrong. I don't really, once again, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. And I don't put, that much stock into the stats of Juan Soto batting second. That was really only, I think it was 29 games, which for narrative reasons, of course, I did not include that in the graphic. But it wasn't that crazy amount of playing time. But when you see it, knowing that he likes to bat third, and it was legitimately kind of an issue in San Diego last year, why not just bat him third? That's the way I feel. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Yo, if you're in this chat right now, please, once again, do me a favor. Drop a like on this video. It helps me out a bunch. We got 150 people in this chat right now. So, my shit ain't refreshing, but it should say 150 likes, which would be pretty sick. Alrighty. Yo, how we all doing, everybody? Sorry, I kind of, I was going to say I was ramble, but that's what I'm supposed to do. It's a stream, damn it. But, hey, and by the way, look at this. So we know how when I first started streaming, I got the Stream Deck, this thing right here. There's a reason this little one is no longer plugged in. Because we got the big boy now. Check this thing out. Check it out. 32 buttons. 32 buttons. We got all this shit. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see? Well, I already pretty much ran through it all, so never mind on that. But, which speaking of baseball today, for those who watch, it's going live starting next week, and I'm going to use this to run baseball today, and I'm pumped. That's half of why I love doing these streams is like the production side of it. Like I love making all these little things, all this stuff. Sorry. Alrighty. So how you guys feeling about that? Sean D says, what do you think about Oswaldo Cabrera? He's going to play a role. I mean, no matter what, assuming he can hit decently, which he finished the season relatively okay. Maybe I'll pull up his like August and September splits. But honestly, that's going to take a while. I just know he hit better towards the end of the year. His versatility obviously makes him valuable. He can play second base, shortstop, third base, left field, right field. That's obviously huge. And he's going to play a big role on the bench just because of that. You'd like to think, though, that'll start to hit. 2022, he was pretty damn solid, especially like after the first couple weeks of struggling. He really picked it up towards the end into the playoffs. But yeah, he's not gonna have like too big a role, but his versatility makes him very valuable. I will say, if the Yankees were to, let's say a couple infielders get hurt, are you going to the Talking Yanks Boone event? When is that? Is that next week? I might. I was talking to Jake about that. I think I might. But not sure. I'll let you guys know. I am so excited about Yorbit Vivas, the guy the Yankees got for Trey Sweeney and the Victor Gonzalez trade. I would love if he got an opportunity, if like an infielder or two goes down. Like say, God forbid, Volpe gets hurt, Glaber, whoever. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt. It's not even like a thing we've got to be like, oh, please don't get hurt. Like, somebody's going to hurt. It's going to be fine. Like, that's a true test of a major league team in a 160-game season. Like, what's your depth? I'm so excited about Yorbit Vivas. So I like to think like he could get some everyday playing time and not necessarily like Waldo being, because here's the thing with Waldo, like while his versatility is very valuable for like off days and if you want to give a guy a rest here and there, him as an everyday starter for like a 1 or 2 month period, that would not be ideal. So that's kind of where I'm at on Waldo. Yo, what up, Feo? No, Dan, it's a tradition that you tell us you have every signed, you have assigned every Stream Deck button. You better not skip that. Yo, I will say, like, I'm obsessed with this thing. I got so much shit on here. I got like, you can't fully see it, I assume. Or maybe you can. I don't know. Like, this is what it looks like. Yeah, you can't see this, so there's no point. But like, I got all the players on here. I got all these cool picks. I got, some A-Rod highlights from when we were talking about that. Let's see. Is there anything else I didn't click? I mean, I mostly clicked through them all, so I guess you did get it. And this one's black, which matches my computer, which is pretty cool. Caden Irwin says, do you think the Yankees will play Dominguez when fully healthy or stick to Verdugo if he plays well? Good question. First of all, if everybody's healthy, which probably won't be the case once again, if everybody's healthy, I do not consider a lock that like, Jason comes back and you just automatically throw him right back into the fire. Like, let's not, it was a great week. It was insane. Like, I watched that, particularly his second homer in Houston, the one he pulled, which was incredible. I watched that probably like once every other day. It was beautiful. The whole week of him being a Yankee was amazing. But it was just 8 games. And he's coming off Tommy John surgery. So if I'm the Yankees, I'm banking on, all right, Jason comes back. Let's just say it's June, which it sounds like it's going to be June or July. Aaron Boone said he wasn't going to give like a firm date, but he kept mentioning June and July, so you figure it's probably, the Yankees are thinking June or July. I would say, you give him a whole 30 games at AAA. A whole 30 games, at the least. Then you see how he's doing. And maybe he gets off to a crazy torrid start like 1 or 2 weeks in. It's like, all right, what are we doing? Get this guy up here? Or maybe the Yankees are in a dire situation where a lot of outfielders are hurt. Once again, knock on wood. And you kind of have to play him. But no, I would not consider Jason like a shoo-in to automatically just get everyday time when he's coming off the IL. Like, I'll see a lot of people be like, the lineup when Jason comes back, like, they just automatically pencil him into the 3 spot. I'm like, let's like chill a little bit. I don't think we're necessarily there. Yeah, I understand he batted third last year, and if he picks up where he was hitting in 23, then obviously like you keep him in the big leagues, like, or you get him in the big leagues as soon as possible. But I just I don't think we should put that much pressure on him just yet, because after all, it was just 8 games. Could we do those champagne jerseys as City Connects? We could, but the thing with City Connects though is that like they are supposed to connect to the city, which I will say a lot of the ones I've seen, whether it's like people trying to, attribute it to the Bronx or like people put like the fucking like D train on a jersey and be like, this should be the Yankees City Connect. I'm like, bro, come on. I don't think the Yankees actually will do a City Connect. Hal Sandberg on the K Show last year said they weren't going to do a City Connect. And I don't know if this fits City Connect vibe. I think this is perfect for Sunday home games during the day. Although this picture was edited from like a nighttime picture and it looks pretty slick at night. So I'm not even against them, using it for 7 p.m. games either. But just a thought. And mainly because, same with the road uniforms, it's new. but it's actually old. And that is the perfect way for the Yankees to keep things fresh. By doing throwback uniforms, which this I just love. Like, oh, it is so beautiful. It's gorgeous. Like, I look at this picture of Babe and Lou, and it's just like, it's the Yankees. The New York Yankees. And knowing Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Anthony Volpe, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, they're going to be wearing like that same jersey basically with a Star Insurance patch. Like, that is pretty dope. And like, that's the shit, it just does something for me. It really does. Like, seeing these pics, a lot of people want the Sturbs to come back. I wouldn't be opposed to that either. I love it, man. I love it. Mickey Mantle. Something about this team, man, and it really hits in the offseason. I'm so excited for the 24 season. I really am. Really, really am, dude. Yep. Let's see. Hey, Dan, just wondering if you'll ever make another hype video again. I appreciate the question, Nick. I want to, but I've talked about this a little bit on past streams. My schedule's gotten kind of wonky, so like this offseason this year, I really want to figure out like what I can do and what I can't. Highlight videos, not highlight videos, excuse me, like hype videos, they take so long. And that's part of why I'm doing streams now more than like prepared content where I edit it because I just don't really have the time for it. So to be honest with you, probably not. But like if I just get a day where it's like, yo, I'm going to do a hype video, like hell yeah. Hell yeah. And that's usually what it is. It's just like a day. Like I remember when I made my favorite hype video of all time that I made, by far, if I watch it now, like, it'll bring tears to my eyes almost, is the Empire Strikes Back video that I made prior to the 2020 season. It was very like Astros cheating themed. The Yankees had just gotten Garrett Cole. It was to the Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker trailer music, which is just beautiful. Like the only good thing to come out of the sequel trilogy was, it's like you can watch the trailer I made. Just look up Yankees Empire Strikes Back. It'll bring tears to my eyes watching it. It's just like, it's strictly because of the song. I'm not even saying like the way I edited it. It's just like the song is perfect. So it's usually like that. Like if I find like a dope hype song or something like that, or something that's like, yo, this would be great, a highlight video, I'll just like, all right, I'll spend the whole day making one. But I appreciate the question, Nick. Let's see here. Okay, Feo. Feo says, Dan, I have a potentially difficult question for you. Are you prepared? Absolutely. Bring it. Let's see. Brendan says, I think the Yankees could get Snell. Nobody is paying Boris' price. His price will come down. He'll fall into our lap. Also encouraging that we've been the only team to give him an offer. Yeah, it's a good point, Brendan. Although I just don't believe that we're the only team to give Blake Snell an offer. So I'm not going to actually assume that's true. Although you're not like wrong. Like the reports have said that we're the only team to give him an offer. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, he could technically like fall. I don't want to say like fall into our lap because I feel like falling into our lap would still be like at least $175 million. But hey, I'm not going to give up on it yet. BQ. Feo says, what does Gleyber's slash line need to be for it to become a non-question to bring him back? Feo, it's such a hard question because to be honest with you, I'm just grateful to have him for this 1 year because I thought he was going to get traded. And I do believe there's like a 10% chance he's back. So it's already in my head. And this is why the Yankees are probably holding on to Oswald Peraza. I tweeted that a few weeks ago. I was like, shit, yo, like the Yankees need to do something about Everson Pereira and Oswald Peraza. I'm kind of backing off the Peraza side of things. Pereira, I still wonder what's going to happen with him. But, and maybe they just keep him, I don't know. But for Peraza, it makes a lot of sense because it does sound like he's like the heir to the throne of second base next year. So I feel like whether Gleyber has, like, I think Gleyber's going to have like an 800 OPS next year. Maybe he does like not to the level of Aaron Judge in 2022, like actually the stats of hitting like 60 home runs. But let's just say he has like a crazy career year where it's like he's the fucking second or third best hitter in the lineup again. But like an insane year where like, he's going to command like, I don't know. Right now, if you were to extend Gleyber Torres, I think you could get it done for like $100 million because he wants to be a Yankee and that's still pretty much a good amount of money. I think you could honestly get him for like 100 or so million. If Gleyber has a good year in the open market, like he could get like a great year would get him like 150. So I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like Gleyber's gone. I feel like he's gone. Obviously, I want him back, but just thinking logistically with like where the Yankees will be at, of course, you know the main thing of the offseason will be trying to retain Juan Soto. Clay Holmes will be up, so they'll need a closer. I think Gleyber's gone, Feo. After this coming year, which is for right now, you know what? I'm like cool with it, yo. This is what I said when they got Soto. I'm like, yo, 1 year, 2024, we're going all in. So the fact that we only have Glaber for right now, the fact that we only have Juan Soto for right now, as of January 23rd, ahead of the season, I'm actually kind of pumped about that because we are going all in. All in, baby. All in. What else we got? Love that hype video with Elite. Thanks, Dave. Yo, that was fun. Maybe a 1956 style white uniform. LOL. I mean, I don't know if you just joined. That's kind of what the cream is. Which, by the way, this picture is a little much on the cream. Like, it's very yellow. It'd probably be kind of a lighter shade. But admit, like, yo, that looks pretty slick. It looks pretty slick. Let's see what else we got here. You think that Peraza has a good year and takes DJ's spot? Well, we were just talking about Peraza. Like I said, I think Peraza will be taking over at second base after Glaber becomes a free agent, if I had to guess. Third base. I feel like I had a plan the other day for third base long term. What was it? You have DJ this year. No, I don't think Peraza takes over DJ's spot. I really think DJ will just be like the everyday guy at third base, and then if he gets hurt, Peraza, sure. Which I guess he could play really well and take his job. But as long as DJ is like a league average hitter with the good defense, I think like he is the Yankees third base, which I'm fine with. Like he is the third base in the New York Yankees for 2024. Word. After this year, though, let me look up the Yankees' top 10 prospects again. Oh no, never mind. It wasn't a third base plan. I was thinking of first base. I was thinking about Rizzo, how Rizzo's deal is up after 2024, and the Yankees have Ben Rice, who just tore up every level in the minor leagues this year. It was like an unranked prospect going into 23. Crushed single A, crushed low A, crushed high A, crushed double A. Not sure if he got to triple A or not, but the dude is like 24 years old, lefty hitting, first baseman / catcher. Although when it's like kind of undecided if you're a catcher or not, I just assume you're not. So looking at him more as a first baseman, Ben Rice, look out for him possibly to take over at first base for Rizzo in 2025. Third base though, I don't know. And hey, if DJ has a good year, you just run it back with him. Good question though. Good question. Let's see what else we got. Dan, how about a 1927 uniform? Are you speaking of, let's see, 1927 Yankees? So was that like where it was just nothing? It was just pinstripes? Yeah, no, I'm good off that. Some people have also mentioned like the pinstripe hat that they wore for 1 year, which may have been like 23. Was it the first year of the stadium? I don't know what it was, but the Yankees used to have like a pinstriped hat where it was like a navy brim pinstriped hat. Somebody tagged me in that. I was like, yo, we should do this. I thought that was a little bit much, but I'm just down for any sort of like throwback vibe, because it's something new, once again, while being old. Yankee Edit says, are there any more big trades / free agent targets you would be interested in? Hector Neris I was really into for a while, but it sounds like Jack Curry is pretty much saying that's not going to happen. They'll get a reliever, though. Wandy I don't think is that much of a need, like everybody is saying, just because we already got Victor Gonzalez, we got Nick Ramirez, that's two lefties, and Wandy's probably going to cost like $6 million a year. So I'd obviously welcome him back. Wandy's amazing, I love him, but I don't think it's a necessity. Keenan Middleton, though, I think he'd be a good guy to bring back in pinstripes, and he'd probably be pretty cheap. Yo, that's funny as hell. Brennan says, if Ben Rice becomes an uncle, he'll be Uncle Ben's Rice. That is fantastic. Sergio Valentin says, any thoughts on Stroman's press release? I liked it a lot, dude. I was kind of surprised more people didn't talk about like his beef with Yankee fans. But like, I guess that kind of stemmed from the whole the question about, are you misunderstood? And he was like, yeah, he gave good answers. He really did. And the thing with Stroman is, on the field, he's badass. And like, he is a gamer. All he cares about is winning. So as long as, and this is a big if, and it probably won't come true, but just talking about the guy on the field, you ignore the other shit, or if he can keep that down. And he hasn't tweeted in a while, to be fair. Although he did react and repost a tweet today on Instagram that implied George Steinbrenner was currently in hell. That was something. But like, Marcus Stroman on the field is a guy I'm very excited about. Yo, Feo, I don't know the exact picture you're talking about, but I'm so down to bring the sweater back. Babe Ruth 1922 sweater. Dude, it would be amazing. That would be amazing, Feo. That would be absolutely amazing. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Let's do some like on the fly producing here. And then I'm going to get out of here because I do want to hit legs before the night is up. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put this in so you all can see this beautiful picture that Feo just recommended we all look at. Excuse me, give me 2 seconds. Gorgeous. Where are we at here? Where are we at? That'll do. Alrighty. You guys seeing this? You guys seeing this? That would be amazing, Feo. That would be absolutely incredible. And I wonder if I could get my hands on one of these. Like, even if the Yankees don't bring it back, I would so love to get like a dope-ass sweater like that. That's so 20s looking. I've been playing a lot of Chrono Photo lately. You know that game where you like guess where like what year a picture was taken? And just anything from 1900 to 1940, I'm like so off on. Like this picture, if I didn't know any better, I would be like, this is 1902. When in reality it's 24 or whatever it was. It is sick. Alrighty. Ethan says, what's your reaction to hater to the cheaters? Yo, some people are giving me some flack on the way because I saw the news and my instant reply was, I said the F word. I was like, damn. Or F. Because the Astros got one of the best closers in baseball. That sucks. And people are like, and it's a fair rebuttal. They're like, oh, well, this probably means they're going to lose Bregman because they got to pick between Bregman and Altuve at the end of the year, which probably is true. I mean, they're paying Hader $19.5 million. And I think that was like $95 million is like the biggest free agent deal they've ever given out. So, yes, it could lead to them losing Bregman. And that's awesome. Like, ultimately, that's great. But in the end, my whole vibe being, we're going all in 2024. I'm obviously not going to be happy that the Astros just got one of the best closers in baseball. Even if he does, like, say, fall off. Like, it's a 5-year deal. Paying relievers for that long, that much, I'm good off that. And I certainly wouldn't have wanted the Yankees to give him that deal. Hell no. But you anticipate Josh Hader will be pretty damn good in 2024, and that sucks. So, the Astros got better, but I will say, as I do every year, I want to face them in the ALCS. Rematch of the century. Yankees-Astros 4. Love it. I do, Benny, very, very good point. This is the last dance for the Astros. Yeah, we're probably looking at the last year of, that main core that's been so recognizable since even without Correa and Springer, but like Altuve and Bregman, like two pretty big faces of that. It's gonna be kind of disbanded after this next season, which is why I want to take them out now and get our revenge. Would you be down to sign Murakami in 2 years? I definitely am. Definitely would be down to sign Murakami. I don't know enough about him, though, to do like a whole analysis, but I know he like hits fucking bombs in Japan. So, yeah, for sure. Guys, that's going to do it for this stream. Had an absolute blast on it. How long did we go for? Doesn't tell me. Probably about a half hour. I don't know. Knicks are losing to the Nets. God damn. 70-65. I might watch a little bit more than Knicks. And yo, Brennan, I actually have this game on now because you talked about it on Twitter before. I'm going to watch a little more Knicks, I think. We got playoff football coming up this weekend. Yo, speaking of the 7-hitter, where we at here? Now, I spent a couple $100 on this, so you got to be nice to me, all right? What do we think? This is, they call it white gold, and they say diamonds. I don't know. But inspired by Alex Verdugo, obviously not as big as his, but I wanted something to be like, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I wanted something to just like to rock and represent the Yankees. So I got this on some website for a couple $100. Was it a waste of money? Maybe. Only because I don't really wear it that much. Because I have sensitive skin and it gives me an allergic reaction. Not really, but it does irritate me a little bit. What do you guys think? Alrighty, reminder, Astros gave out, Carlos Lee, $100 million. Okay, maybe I just got bad information somewhere. That's a do it though for this video, or stream rather. We will be back, I don't know, probably, I'm going to try to use it at least like once a week, but maybe this weekend, or whenever there's the Yankees sign a reliever, which they still probably will. And the free agency list, it's crazy that Bellinger, Snell, and Monty, all of them are still free agents. Like, even guys like Jock Peterson's still out there. Jorge Soler. Not that I think the Yankees are going to necessarily getting those guys, but we still got a lot to go, generally speaking, for the MLB offseason. But yeah, the Yankees still might do something. Definitely do something. They'll probably at least get a reliever. And then some supplemental moves as well. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you all had a good time. Please drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Let's go Yankees.